Assalamu alaikum, Gambia, friends of the Gambia. Good morning to you all. It is August 6th, 2024. And the time here pretty much in America, it's, let's see, almost 9:13 a.m. and that would translate to 13 minutes past 4 in the Gambia. Bifanang konsinanga kachado ke regarding Gambia la kuo because Gambia, like I keep saying in my programs, Gambia is a unique country. Very unique. Nabi topic of discussion Nalia Santo Jube regarding member caring na Bangkok because as a consistent people kuoku na be caring fonse funding a diamu andun na diamo nying nga la sarfrol nyingkang nga kulo sambaje animbunya. At the end of the day, but we call things as they are supposed to be. Min nyanta wo nyanta le doron. But min fanaya lonko tonyero lem, we have to speak and make sure that melia lonko ibe wo kusifal kekan. Let them realize what they are doing. Because, land allocation bira fundita Gambia Bangkoka. That the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Minketa Mr. Adama Barrow, Beria call out for grabbing the state Chief Justice residence, Ayaka Fansuntat. Yeah? Yenkuo be that ita wale nyama, that the President acquired a state land. Mia lonko Gambia government land nem reserve or lawati for a particular resident for the Chief Justice of the Gambia. Fast forward, members of the United Democratic Party has called on him to return that because access declaration birabekela at the Independent Electoral Commission, for all we know, for Bedan Tawala Nyamatela assets sol anala supposed assets minti ye wo declare ko. Almost about 9 residents Adama Barrow Wallace. But if the Land Act and Gambia government na sarrol millande ni wayata ndiko ning ayatara you are a civil servant, you own this much land, then itaman qualify to even secure anything within the state land allocation on you. Maybe you can own another private land somewhere outside the scope of within the Chief Justice la resident Miyasoto. For all we know, Gambia, like I keep saying, we are mostly complacent in telling the truth. It is one thing to talk about the President of the Republic of the Gambia, the sitting president. Mia Lonko, Hanatara Nyanto Babulu coming koka land sort of, but not a state-owned land. But Ninga tata wo acquire, instead of all of us coming together to call him to return that land. The person who made us knew about that kafo, President Enyin land neta. Eko, lawyer dawa fanandingo, anala muso, wolfanaye wo land sifa killing lel soto, allocation on you. Let us put a distinction and a caveat in here. Tonyade atebe mu tonyalti. But then at the end of the day, it is quite very wrong and very egocentric with us Gambians to punish one person for the action of some other people. Tonya, Lawyer Darboe is an elderly statesman. He was a former vice president, a foreign affairs minister. But that same Lawyer Darboe is a father figure, is a brother, is an uncle to so many people in the Gambia, right? So if Lawyer Darboe, Ala Muso, who has been a teacher, we are saying, we put a caveat on this particular debate that we are having today. Nimolu nyantaka benefit state land allocation ola, we should factor into teachers, nurses, and in poor people of the Gambia and so many other people. Because it is very convenient for us as people to come and sit by any platform. Ningamwe yiro kumata parakarat janunga ka jolong, we just jump into conclusion. Mbuka along abe boila dame. This is why our country is going backward. Ntolla banko. Because we use emotion and ego into everything and almost anything na banko come for national discourse. Yeah? How many times have we seen Nyimbanko Kanjang? All the coupon, per diem, most of those allowances, Milia Alonko, when Lawyer Darboe was in office, he returned all of those. But that's not a talking point here. How many people have commended him on that? Unlike the other camp, Mr. Adama Barrow, I asset Solmin declare, B. Adama Barrow, anatara kunung fuaro lembar B. afana manke fuaro. And as a sitting president, you are not qualified or entitled to take those things. Because if by virtue of each position and each title, is going to compromise the people who are responsible for allocating such land to you. Right? Let us not shy away from telling the truth. Huh? Before I go further into elaborating that part, Yalong Gambians, we are very, very selective amnesia. Selective amnesia monati, walam nyentiko, mindiate tulo edoro ika wala mwei ika nyina kuola mili along kwa itambita. It is very convenient for us as a people. I respect Madi Jobate so much. I respect him because I term this gentleman as one of the most consistent person within the whole of the Gambia, regardless of whatever Mimbekiri, right? But also, we have seen the same Madi Jobate. Bering Gambia no wulita nko Bakari Baji ala Muso. Min keta Jobate te andunga lon na ko warning Madi Jobate dentale. Maybe in Safoka dingole mwala just something like that. You know? So when Wodia Mobekela Madi was nowhere to be found, Madi never even commented on that. Regardless of Madila consistency in Be, but at a day tell tukutuk, yerem, yendem. So etik bemuntole, at the time of all of that, if Madi Jobate is in everywhere and anywhere, talking about everything and anything in our country. Huh? Berem Bakar Bajila Padium allowance mulon Mia Lonko Atebe the Minister of Youth and Sport Anyanta Katama ning Madam Jobate Tata Nyola Andunga Tefonga Lonnako. Madam Jobate is not on the payroll of the Gambia government. Bari atatale afafutataje ya jo alawansola. We had expected ninga ataraila spouse be dandan on a state mission etenyanta you should foot that bill, right? Bari You see how convenient we think that go, tonya fomu tonya fole, more beka flow subtly. Why didn't Madi Jobate come and tell us that ethically, Jobate manyankata woto de. It is ethically wrong and morally inconceivable ka atande Gambia dingol lako bakar baji nala muso betata on a state mission na bari wo kodonyi inyanta kase. Why didn't Madi Jabata write about that? Alta media dulal beto alia jube whether Madi would be seen on any of the media or any paper ka wo safe because I have a family member letter. You see how dishonest sometimes ka Kenyami. But beside all of that, Madi Jobate, hate him or like him, he is considered to be very, very, consistent. But what consistency, ale bring ala dimma Gambian people ba kolkam to pay that money. Mia Lonko, she has benefited. So nyun le mutilimbali atin na society kono, huh? Okay, fast forward. Ning Gambian kolu sitan kombe ethic invoke la, and in ethical consideration olu. How convenient, how many government civil servants wolle bedokola, and yet still we have several people, like almost 90-something% of the Gambian population bemu fuare dingot. If it is ethical, right? Because it is even very un-Islamic, puro ite balu, yetara balu come way beyond your means. Ika hundreds of thousands soto in a year. Isi nyo be bala, woman balu. Okay, let us leave that aside for now. Let's come back to our topic. Lawyer Dabo was the former vice president. Should we shy away from telling the president to return that land as being the sitting head of state of our country? Because morally, Woeminke is wrong, socially is despicable, and ethically is inconceivable. And near civil service code of conduct, Jube, is a violation to the rules of our country. A certain president has violated the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia by grabbing land that is not supposed to be within his reach, right? This is something very serious, but we are downplaying it simply because of political expediency. Manyang kasi nga jube nyo feko. Okay, kari bota nyen pati karile. Kari fanam bota nyen pati karile. Simply because that person did this and this person also did that. Nga jube. The yardstick and the metric to measure the gravity of violations are two complete different things. Apples and oranges. They cannot be related. You know? In arithmetic or mathematics, you cannot mix like terms and unlike terms, right? Nibela doku wol nyelkela fengol mel mulunte ka wolle George based on luaya landi nyame. Why Gambia lenga ketonya folati why? Adam Barrow lua tinyale. Mimma fono ni dala ka faiko a state land saying which belong to the Chief Justice resident. Because imagine that resident can go for all you know over 200 years. Whoever becomes the Chief Justice inyantaka occupy wodulal, just like the Vice President resident Benjamin and likewise the #1 Marina Parade Benjamin in Banjul as the as the house of the presidency of the Republic of the Gambia, right? But here is the dishonesty coming from Gambians. When Adama Barrow violated and grabbed that state land, because of political expediency, people don't want to talk. about it, and they just want to just be sitting on the sideline and think that okay, kari nyol fanan dingo nala muso ya settle. Kari la dingo nala muso are also Gambians, right? But if, only if, an if condition, momoy angale kaunkara, an if condition would be, ning ayatara lawyer daboya undue interference Lesotho in the allocation of that land to adingo walala muso. But let us further dissect these things into a broader perspective. Walam Nyentiko, lawyer Dabola Muso had been a teacher. And we said, teachers fall within those categories. Ninga atara sotori bekela dulato. Woto? Lawyer Dabola Muso mu teacherleti. A teacher is just a teacher. Regardless of where fen soto lebang, imam fen soto. Because in as long as niye dingol soto, ila o dingol fana, Wolfanan, they would want to have, enjoy a piece of land from their parents. So lawyer Dabola Muso, being a teacher, has been qualified, and she is within the law, and it has never been like a dubious activity, just like to go and grab it like that. No. She has followed process and procedure and proper scrutiny. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, munatin nambuka tonya fondala. You know? We believe, and I believe fervently with my strong conviction, I'm a member of the United Democratic Party. But if I think lawyer Daboye Kule ke mi along and in Sartrol ni lual manta, I'll be the first person to come out and denounce it. You know? Let us further dissect this issue into a further, broader perspective. Lawyer Dabo ding offender, Guzin Dabo. Fenda be siring America Janne. I learned sort of wati Jamale at the time. Lawyer Mantara Mansakundakon. And even Hanatara lawyer be Mansakundakon no wato. But if she has done it within the Land Acquisition Act, she is within the law. Up to a process of leasing that land is completely different from Adama Barrow ya Kenyami. For crying out loud, Adam Barrow is the sitting president of the Republic of the Gambia. And on his appetite to grab anything and everything in the country should be really checked in order to draw a balance. Puruna bankokan, minketanu ya jammela, wakana na labanka ke atela. Instead of us as Gambians, instead of us as independent, undiluted thinkers in our country, being kasi, we are mixing apples, oranges, and bananas and everything. Andunga ya tara, abe senyari nga koicha fer. Mbenga lontonya belarin dame wai. How deceitful are we as Gambians? You do not have to like lawyer Dabo to be able to defend him about things that he did. For instance, and hypothetically, Gambians and friends of the Gambia. But is it fair, under the natural dispensation of justice, to use a metric or a yardstick to punish a father about something me alonko ala dingo e minke, ala adult dingo e minke, wala tenga ala muso e minke? Why, ntol mbengalo wo bantara dunia dulato why, ntol mil bebe saferola gintu babudu banko lukang, nga lonnako, your adult child is an adult. She is very much coherent enough to make an informed decision on her own behalf. Kajube nyimbe nyinekela. From the age of 17, 18, you turn to be an adult. You know? So these people did got this land lawfully at the time, regardless of any circumstance. just like any other civil servant, has the access to be able to benefit from this thing. When has that become a violation in our constitution? When you talk about ethics, Birimba datika ngafole, Madi Jobate, did he invoke an ethical consideration? Biringa abadima wala dingo, Madam Jobate of Fatu attending Bakar Baji, Padium allowance kuonying, biring ngameram bele ye wokalamuta. Madi has never talked about ethics, right? Alinga damandamang. Please, Gambians, friends of the Alinga damandamang. It is one thing to do things within the law, and another thing to do it outside the scope of the law. Adama Barrow has been cornered and Nyantakawa state land return. Nama return, there are two things that could befall him. That is, number one, he could be prosecuted for violating the laws of the land. Or number two, we will forfeit and repossess it. Ningatara falingo ketan na Bangkoka. Nyulle mukuolte milia longko imuto nyati. But ndesan, nyimubala fahabati. Because of Mbota Damilto and our political affiliation will be nyamming, people are using this as a yardstick to pass a very wrong judgment on issues milia longko imam mulumfang. If we need to account anybody for that, should be perhaps lawyer Dabola Muso. Nga investigation okay nga jubeko ate wo sotono nyadile whether I are totally within the law and papers will be bulu, and by virtue of her title Hotels Trained School Teacher Lemati, she did qualify for that. She really qualified for it. You cannot use your lawyer Dabola wealth Kafo kominko, oh lawyer nyena fulu nangam le soto, so therefore la muso manyanka nyen soto. That is wrong. Who told you that? In what constitutional backing or provision Ibewala used in the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia? If there is nothing that you can quote from the Constitution, then we have no case here. We have nothing to talk about here, because I see, Ndesan, many times, just like because the politics is very toxic. Politics is very, very toxic. Just simply because it is fanje NPP, it nindoya fanje UDP, nindoya fanje another party in the Gambia. Then we use that as a yardstick by Mantaradula Kilinto, no hate so much so that even Hanin Tonyana, we cannot credit the devil its due. It is wrong. It is wrong. Lawyer Dabola Muso Ofanamu wandi ballot. If other members of the cabinet, Walaten Dula Dolto, or civil servants are enjoying from the allocation of state land, yeah, soto, and in Tilingokono, a man ke Tilimbaliati, then they are within the law. The most important thing is for the Minister of Local Government to avail other citizens the same opportunity. Katandia ko, hey, nyim facility bejanne, la fetale momo inaya apply puru ye qualified to get that. And in fact, I think every Gambian is qualified to get that under the circumstance. You know? And think of lawyer Guzin Dabo. Fender Dabo. The metric Molka may use ka jubeko. You are in United States of America. Land say independent. It's wrong. Not everybody living here live in their own home or houses. For all we know, most of the people are renting for their entire life while they stay in this America or Europe or anywhere else. So if you are a Gambian and you have something in the Gambia that you could benefit, it's a facility that is there. And you are a growing young woman, regardless of ila resources mimbebulu, ka afoy ko, ha, imanyanka Imanyanka state land allocation on inyanta kata private land nesang. How many of you have done that? Near privilege, a privilege is not a violation of the law. You know? Could it have ethical issues here and there? Probably yes, depending on circumstances. And at the time, it Maria or feminine settlement. And in as much as lawyer Dabo does not have any undue interference in the acquisition of this land, both for his wife and the daughter, Gambia and Kolu, let us focus our eyes on the prize. Mia Lonko is an evolving situation at this moment. Lawyer Dabo is not in government, please. Ala Dingol and Ala Musolu should not be vilified simply because Nko Mfayeko, ha, Idingole Nyinke, Ela Musole Nyinke. So therefore, Meslej Hamatala Lengetele Kumote. It is nowhere in no country ila lual kono. So why are some people saying ko ethically amanyanka song ya fenke follow ya dabola dingo wo fana mang family le soto. In as much as lawyer Dabo fenda Dabo Muloya dingolete. Fenda fana ye din dolel soto. So Fenda would want to use those people. Kafoeko. Alfanan na kenending of kenending bembul. Are those people not qualified? Alinga na fiki abula. Alinga molu judge based on conditions namfanke put them in their shoes. Fast forward, let us see how many National Assembly members enjoy the same thing, having lands here and there. Because in this case, make no mistake, Lawyer Dabo is as clean as a whistle. Among Tanake, among Fenke, because in fact, Lawyer Dabo manyin land solta. You know, we are misrepresenting our writings on Facebook and on social media. Nyantaka mimfo. Wala mnyentiko, lawyer Dabo la muso nyenta lanse indila wala ten lawyer Dabo dingo nyanta ka lanse. Why are we writing ko lawyer Dabo ning baro nyanta ka lanse indile? It has nothing to do with lawyer Usainu Dabo. These are the facts, Gambianolo. Alingang ketonya folate. Lawyer la muso mu Gambia dingol. Lawyer dingo mu Gambia dingol. By virtue of connection through matrimonial marriage and being a paternal parent to the daughter, o manyanka kende nga fu mole ko ha loyal le nyinke. Ite fango mimbe jube rola jam. Idingol se ku jaw jamale ke banta bar foytele wo ke bang. Ila muso se ku jamale ke banta na bete ata molbe kabalato bari na man bete afo mba fola ko itele woke bang alenga fania fobula alenga political expediency bonde na kuol kono nga nyatilen kula miya lonko B Mr. Barrow totally mbenga lonneko he is not qualified to get that, but it just because that land is a prime area of the country, it can fata. It ate a cool be funtindina. If we want to invoke ethic into anything, Mota sotola Gambia minyantaka fensot. Never. Money atin na National Assembly member Milialon, they are paid hundreds of thousands of money. Will my ethic use there? Kajubeko ha ethically ikanjonyi nkodo minna ethically manyanka sonka state land allocation do soto because ntela kodo as a kordasi no nale on a private plot of land. Why didn't the National Assembly use that? Why did the former sitting vice president use the same ethic and metric ka atandi molako? Ethically, nteka jo mimbela woman qualifying the puruka government land soto. So, mbadin Gambian called friends of the Gambia. Nsenyo ko nyao nya. But let us not shy away from the truth. This government is the most rogue government ever in the history of the Gambia. Because kujama bije, because Nezan Karamwa ate kumayata la fortale. It all they just go and violate the law. Nina at a point out, they become angry. Eko kari fanea soto, karia soto nyami, ama sunya. Amari qualified. Nko idingo se kebaya nyaunya hana atara mu 40 something years later. Will always remain as your baby girl or your baby boy. Ntolnga wala long. Bareka na jube ka foko ha lawyer Dabo e korra jamale soto. Lawyer ay naful jamale soto. So therefore at la position of Benyamin amanyanka song. Pura la muso ita e wo soto. Lawyer doesn't even have any influence on that. Ka jube kwa ala muso nyantaka mune soto. Ning wole moto ala hani tabiro famo mimbe kela suoko na munta ko loyale nyanta kafwe ali nyinki nko Gambia nko la linga kuta mfanna wai batati ji. You know, Modo Libije, they are just saying this for the sake of criticizing because they hate Ousainou Darboe so much so that and the UDP itol yiro kumata parak e malonga be boyla damem fa. Ethics and ethical consideration. Ninkombe wala invoke la signing motek soto la Gambia miya lonko abe. Gambia be kela ngambe ngamin sota abe be kela repossess. Be pare. Ousainou is even not part of this case at all. Why are the journalists sitting by and talking like that? Imagine lawyer Darboe ning Barrow Nyantaka land saying and other people. It has nothing, the case has nothing to do with lawyer Darboe. Except that I tell him the former vice president of the country. Except that I tell him nyeng alamuso kemat. Except that I tell him fenda farmat. How do we relate those things? For ni dingo be traffic kono in America janga traffic violation okay for traffic violation o be o ticket o dile tel la mi purunte ngajo. Why Gambiana, let us stop this. Nyine akendi na banko be tardering. Na banko tardeta so much so that mbuka lafi to put our eyes on the price ka tonya sfonga sabatendi anyanta ka kenyame. Of course, we need to go after him. And like I said, Hanala Musola nyen land me ya sota tende ya diala because it has been a privilege me ya lonko. She falls under that category of a teacher who would tell me a teacher would not qualify. But because you want to be selfish and become very convenient with the truth, teacher ni manyanka soto bawa kemamu lawyer Darboe. How dare you? As far as lawyer Darboe is concerned, Nyimbankoka, amulunta ko mul malafi. I fem famosot. Ala futuo to lawyer Darboe has nothing to do with atemarila rights and privileges in the country. Yeah? Fenda Darboe ala dia kake lawyer Darboe ti woma kendi coming kwa nyanta amanyanka ke Gambia nodi. But of course, Momo miya lonko ibe associating with lawyer Darboe. Ite nyanta ke manya loye ke kuolong. Simply because the man is very highly respected in the country. So nimu dingoti, nimu bati to lawyer Darboe, walebu musoti to lawyer Darboe, itela everything would be scrutinized by virtue of lawyer title onye. But that does not mean that we have to negate those people's rights and privileges and in cool milia lonko nyantaka soto in the Gambia. Of course they are Gambians, for crying out loud. Just like I said, we keep saying nka sile nka to nkomfaiko mbeto nyafokam, but we only say it when it is convenient to us. But inabe mfangol singo koto. Ibuka diam. How many times the Molia Dr. Samate Manyim Banko Kanja? Some family members went berserk. Iman laughing at tofu. Simply because, Dr. Samate, Bedula Ming Marakan Gambia, it's a death trap na Bangkoka. So to those people, Milia Alonko badding on Lemu Dr. Samate, it was very convenient to sit at one comfort zone, just like I am doing here today, to criticize a person. But ni nate bente criticize kam. Akamunta jahannama dimbale duntan sisokon. How are we as a people? These cases are very unrelated. And it goes against logic, ethics, and then natural justice of judgment ka jubeko. Nyanta lawyer dabo ponisla based on adingo minke wala tengala musoye minke. It is wrong, Gambians. It is very wrong. Those people are Gambians too. But like I said, ning ayatara lawyer e bulo soto wal corner to lobby for it. And the best person to ask about that should be the former Minister of Lands. You know? So, nindindengo wulita akatata to apply for a certain privilege. Mia Lonko falls within her rights. Enyan ibadila laledi. That does not mean ko ntafanandingo manyanka wuli kata to apply for the same thing. You know? It is wrong to mix these two things. Bi Gambiano nyanta preoccupy la minna nganyati le minna kakuonying address. A certain president, in the person of Mr. Adama Barrow, went and grabbed state land. All land belongs to the residents of the Chief Justice. It's very unethical, it's immoral, and it's a violation of our constitution. For all I know, Lawyer Dabo is not a sitting president of our country. For all I know, Lawyer Dabola Muso is not a sitting president of our country. And for all I know, also Fenda is not a sitting first daughter of the country or whatever. So why are we relating these things? Kasika foko, ethically. Ethics? You wanna preach ethics in this country? I have high respect and expectation for Madi Jobat. Because at least, at a manke model to me, they shy away from calling the truth. But Birate Madi Jobat from a dingo mimbe futuring Bakar Baji. Did Madi invoke did Madi talk about even ethics? Amafu? Did Madi even wrote and say ko Bakar Baji mi ay padium alawanso mim fenkaning Madam Jobate tata minna? Wo mam betea wo is ethically wrong. Did Madi Jobate said it? Nope. Amaf. So when family is involved, we become very much complacent in telling the truth. You see how dishonest we are as a people in the country. And for the last time I checked, Mafoko, Lawyer Dabola Muso Tatale, I land forcefully grab, I seized, I kafantad, as well as a dingo. They went through the right channel. They went through everything. So, Gambia, let's call a spade a spade. Ethics has no role to play in this. You see, when we have an evolving problem in our national discourse, we all need to face with that problem call out to say that the president was saying it. But we are not doing that just because I hate Lawyer Dabo and I hate the UDP so much. So, Adingo Anala Musoye Fenneke, which is within the law, let us pollute the minds of Gambian people. nga foiko Lawyer Darboe fana nenyenke. Whereas the truth is very clear. Lawyer make? Lawyer la muso le yake? Is that Lawyer Darboe? Lawyer dingo le yake? Is that Lawyer Darboe? But by virtue of their relation to being a lawyer la moral femol, nko Lawyer Darboe le yake. How dishonest. Woman ke kute mi alonko we should use as a yardstick. Ete mimbe jubero le dingo na sunyaro ke banda foi iba fola eko etele yake wala sambale yake wala patele yake. Naltol ko lawyer nyanta ethically lawyer nyanta fola waliele ya say independente for wol fanang ay wol mol milimara for wol man dindol le fana wulu nyimbankoka. Fenda dingol lel sort of for all you know, and living in America, taking things by myself. Now, not everybody own a land, or not everybody own a home here. Hana toreche kodo soto nyao nya. Fonga moja male balika kodo soto. Be it in the Gambia or in Europe. So nite kodo soto. Etele ba choose la where you buy a land. Or you use your opportunity miya lonko bankola lua ala sarso ani nyanto e mindi la ko. You could as well benefit from a state land. If that is the case, if you choose to do it, well and good. If you choose not to do it because of you feel that I could buy another piece of land on a private plot of land, then fuarol sita ye benefit nyindongol. That is up to your discretion. But we should not use that as a vilification to Lawyer Darboe Kafaiko. Ay nyineke. Yunus Hydranyol Mil Beke Diam. I don't think they are talking from their mouth. Maybe they have gross food poisoning in their stomach and they are watering down through that little hole. You know? Yunus knows how Europe works. Everybody knows how wider world and the Americas work. Hani nyimbanko fankanjang. Ila fankamaya ma tandiko. You cannot waive your taxes. Isa soto nyaonya. There are other so many facilities. Milia lonko. You can cut down costs by going to benefit from those things. But Jamale Wolong, Jamale Malong, is up to the air. Kajubeko, nenteng our facilities sort of to be able to use that instead of using my hard-earned money. It would be based on my discretion, prungake. But in Ngake, it doesn't mean that I violate any law. No. Lawyer Darboe ding offender Darboe, and then Lawyer Darboe la muso, Iman Lua Tinya, they did everything by the book. Unlike the sitting president of the Republic of the Gambia, Ayala access declare to Independent Electoral Commission. If my memory serves me well, I atandiko ateye korra woro wula le soto. O korra konondo. So na nata enyen grab. That technically tells you ko ateman qualify. So if we are talking about the president, that should not make us to lose our focus, to focus our eyes on Lawyer Darboe and ala family, wala ala dengo na ala muso mink. That is beyond the control of Lawyer Darboe. Make no mistake. Nyin tilimbalia, nyin distortion, nyin misrepresentation, and disinformation and misinformation na bankoka wale akende amantano. Because for all you know, dol ka eko kari fana ya fenkel. Lawyer fana dingol ya soto la na muso. Na dingo na la muso ya soto, that is not lawyer. And in any country, fonte dingol ni ye fengo min soto. Technically, that is not even my property. Womundingol talent. You know? Just because of political expediency and in dishonesty, na kending kol lafita mol la basic fundamental rights sol busile bulufam. As a people. Musifanya dilentolti. do we sit down and make a self-assessment and evaluation? No opportunity from presente Marie, you would have utilized it. Yata. You know? So nyulle mufannate miya lonko nyantaka diamala. We are mixing apples and oranges. And we are misrepresenting and making a mistitling issues. The title should have been, let Lawyer Darboe's wife return estate land, or let Lawyer Darboe's daughter return estate land, but not Barrow and Lawyer Darboe should return state land. Where is lawyer involved in any of this? Oh, nakaro wole na banko seindi koma. As a Gambian. Doli bije, e karanta foi kungol fetenta boom. But they don't want to reconcile with the truth, to come to the realization ko. Tonya, nente ko nga lole karam, o loe monetandina. People like even Lamin Tamba. Nae kumol saban nyotema. This is another one guy me along and respect Baba Bake. Dende meranga karanta fahamta. But I do believe that this Lamin Tamba needs to leave the past. He should go beyond the past of Yaya Jammeh. Because Yaya Jammeh have caused a lot of untold suffering in our country. So, dende merang mi along ko fahamte karante londi bal nyin. You should come to the conclusion that nite ko a law le karan, that law should be marked by good fundamental values. Kajube molie ko, okay, Yaya Jammeh nyine ke bawa ketate la mara lole koto, hana atarate ma ke directly afama bulo. But we should hold him accountable. Command responsibility and karandewal nyama in service. Ando Al-Qur'ano fanaye karandewal nyama, momo ibe mara lim fengol minna, kuoku ketaje ibe itale konti bolada. Namela be wale nyama. But these are the people, Milialonko, because of certain dislike or different philosophical difference, they just want to crucify Lawyer Darboe for everything and anything. Hanatara buroma mimfama. Why? Alinga hakedani. Alinga hakedani ni wateng Lawyer Darboe castigation or to castigate Lawyer Darboe left, right, and center on a daily basis. Abe mo jama dundi la jahannamo kon. Hana imeo menke iko loyalem. Hana mamenke iko loyalem. Banko la nyato balia iko ifaye loyalem. Telebe Barrow how is he distracting Barrow? Nyanta kamemfo Adama Barrow nala mansakunda la furia le wati for not evolving out of all these ginormous problems that we have in our country. To take Gambians out of that. Ka fere kendo landi, ka jube na balunya besone ano na panko kanyami. How is that the fault of Lawyer Darboe? Lawyer Darboe would talk because he is an opposition leader and he would want to become the leader of our country. You know? So, fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, let us forget about the hate. Let us forget about the dislike. Let us forget about nying hasidia bambalo mimben na bankoka. Nga nyatiling kuola. Melia lonko, they would help the greater good of the Gambian people. Today, many people lebe siri Melia lonko ibuka domoro sotono. Nyanta minkela. Is that too a default of Lawyer Darboe? Because Lawyer Darboe is a citizen of the Gambia, wala akende Gambia dingol fuariata. Today, Nyanta cracked down on crimes and in drug peddling in our country. Is that the fault of Lawyer Darboe? Because Lawyer Darboe happened to be living in the country called the Gambia in pipeline? B, the productive base of our economy, be it agriculture, healthcare, education, and so many other things, will be vacant. Is that the fault of Lawyer Darboe? Simply because lawyer is not in government, But the person responsible for steering the affairs of our country has no knowledge, no expertise, no technical know-how, and the prerequisite required to lead a country to a viable nation. Is that the fault of Lawyer Darboe? Because Lawyer Darboe happened to be the citizen of the Gambia? So Gambian, fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, make no mistake, a lawyer castigate on things would be based on democracy. And that is very healthy. If you think you would criticize lawyer Ousainou Darboe constructively, that is very welcome. Because Ndoli UDP members of Damma, we criticize ourselves, nin lawyer Bukatara on the same lens la, based on difference of ideas here and there, but nin nata si nga jube nse criticize nyaonya. At the end of the day, nka ben kantole nga jube kominko, because when I differ in opinions with you, etenyantaka curious leka jube, why do I differ in those opinions? Making good policy decisions will become very easy for you because you would want to gather as many divergences of opinion as much as possible. You would have a failed state where everybody continue to tell you, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. I know that is to the behest of your failure. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, we need to repent to God for our misrepresentation, for our castigation, and in the vilification of lawyer Ousainou Darboe. In unrelated issues, Mia Lonko, he has no hand in them. Yeah, Lamin F. Trawale, you are right. So many people have natural hatred for Lawyer Darboe. And Lawyer Darboe, like I said, is a father. He's an elderly statesman, the former vice president of the country, as well as the former foreign affairs minister. Bari, adingol la kekuo, anala muso la kekuo. We cannot use that as a yardstick to judge Lawyer Darboe. That goes against every metrics of natural justice. Nia kentelate dialanye. Lawyer Darboe should not be my friend. Puro ngata ngasi nga defend when the truth is out there in the open. Mr. Lamin Tamba does not need to be my friend. Puro ngata ngala rights defending war rights will violate. Mr. Adama Barrow, regardless of nka criticize Nyaonya, I know he is the leader of the country. Even though I acquire Nyaming, it's still questionable to many. Because I still have a strong conviction ko 2021 election ntolenga ganye. But that is a lesson learned. Me alonka nene tekela banko kan kotenk. B. Gambia dingol tolmil bebe siri. We know for a fact there are so many things that are happening in our country. Me along is totally abnormal. Wallel nyantam preoccupy la to put pressure on the Barrow government ka crime rate knockdown IG. Because we do not know, for crying out loud, who will be next to be slaughtered in that country. Balunya mimbe koleare Ngambia Bankoka. Ise fengo soto nyaonya, ibala fatio doyata nyaonya, molel benale ya left, right, and center on a daily basis, ibuka rest no fan, jawyata nyaonya, foya bondiye wol makoy. Because by nature, itelefonam fisiata walti damande in term of wealth and purchasing power. Zeni Konate, Ako he thinks Dabo is the president of the country. Yeah, I totally agree. Because all this hate, now most of the minko atele munyato ngote de ya atele kalindi na bankola sarta kango nyinna. Bari nyinne darjanta yata Gambia banko bait. Hane gate man, wale fango darjatad. Hane school prefect, wale fango darjatad. So nyin kondiro, wale katare siso kono ko jahannama dimba. And this is why in the Gambia, mo jamabe sirinje, ibe sirinje nyami, moluka fetenne. At the end of the day, kasile one time dorong, yekaje moye fa, simply because of konko aning heart attack. Because Gambia dingolu I batatale, I konkotale, and the male ba bondile fanka nyame. Ngaman sakunda soto mi alon kala fero do yata back. Ida malbe fengol talala nyote ma left, right, and center fuarol they are continuing to suffer in abject poverty. Ninko ethic. Ninko mbe ethically invoker. Mr. Adam Barola Mansakunda kono ala meolo anala chairman olo mojale ethical issues ke. Mam meyo sirfo sonko jemia lonka abe musol kumandela ka foyeko abe wol kono mandela la wol mu wande musol. Are those not ethical issues in our country? Did Adam Barrow even invoke those things ka foko? Baritala meyo ti bankoka emanyanke la kansulo nyaman nyantalla. Katara, because itala minyaton koti, Emanyanka engages according to inase tarakano fangola, walaika musukufang al haket. Because the videos are very vile. Oh Mosifala, Adamaya walal muta I hug instead of I fanjam fandila coming Hitler. Mole Hitler kon nyaming, and anybody associated to Hitler molke fanjam fandila nyaming. So where is the ethic in that? Bearing almost a sitting National Assembly member in the passing of Jibril Balo. Then the mereng aka sex solicit wobulu. Aba fola weko, hey ba fola nye daddy, wale ya fo hey daddy bemfala. Wolumu ethical issue lelti, milia lonko, they are of a grave nature, very big problem nature. Muna na ma wolfo nga nyatilingela, Katandiko Adam Barola Mansakunda Amo Jamabije, they have tainted character, therefore he need to distance themselves from it. But at the time, very moluba fokang, you people are busy sitting at your comfort zone. Because you think Abeboka Molel Bulu Milia Alonko, they are members of the United Democratic Party. Milia Alonko, Ntola Jerina, Aniwala Jerinyal Mankele. Like I said, you do not have to be friends with us, but just think whenever we tell the truth, at least you reconcile with yourself. Kalonko walem tonyat. Na jalem so many unqualified people. Ye wol bondi dulalto, ye sambanang, ye dol send foreign affairs mission just to compensate them simply because they stood by Barrow, eke compensate le puru wolfane balu dulaso. Is that the taking of ethics and values and principles in our country? That is even very undemocratic and it's a violation of our constitution, whereas there are more qualified people in Yantaka Melkeje Mekeje. Where is ethic in that? Ethically, Anyantaka Loya Dabo Nyantaka Korase Indile. Bullshit! That is not Lawyer Dabo. Lawyer Dabo la Muso doesn't make it Lawyer Dabo. Lawyer Dabo Dingo doesn't make it Lawyer Dabo. That is the clear distinction Nyantaka Minke. We are very, very, very vile in selecting what we think this is what will bring more misrepresentation in society. Mbatung, let us go with that. You know? As far as I'm concerned, I am on point in so many things in speaking truth to power, even if that power is very much related to me. The highest person whom I will respect on the surface of this planet, walembanimfa. And I am on point. My videos are there. My writings are all over regarding national discourse nabekering. Whether I am a I would shape my mind and try to give my thought process regarding Wokunyimbelare. Nyame. But some people, of course, in society, we know saying something doesn't mean that is the truth. No. So those people sitting by and telling that lawyer Dabo Nyantaka Kodra saying this, that, and that, ethically, it's a blasphemy. It's a misrepresentation, and that doesn't justify how truthful that situation is. So alingang hakilotu. Nendingo e kuja o minke. Awali Nyantaka ndingo le court, but not me directly. Wale ya foko ensa dingo. That would be a little bit better fam. Nena muso e kuke ko ensa la muso. Bare mankuo minke kan samba na wo isu nyinkono. How convenient is that? Nyinne mo telembaliati melialon ko ye Gambia banko seindiko. And we are doing wrong against nature. Amali balia sembo warta. Kanaka sika mol in misinformed about issues milia lonko ibekere. Modolo milla research mawara milla karango mam jamfa bake. Wal fanamba mutalago eko lawyer dawa fana ya fenkel. But no, this is wrong. It's a misrepresentation. Jerry Marong, thank you, Abaraka. Well, there is too much hypocrisy in our society. Yeah, nafiki asembo warata. A warata fata mita nanela because ndesan. We as a Gambian, or we as Gambians, many a time, moluka wuleka kumaja upata ya leka ngayatare bulumam maidamama. It's not cool. Instead of asking the leader of our country, Mia Lonko, he is not qualified at all to grab a state land, Gambia government land. But Mona Nayake, why can't we all come and on a concerted effort ka diamuka tandiko? Adam Barrow minke amambetea, but you feel like ningal nata purka o diamo nyimfo, altol kamira kominka, alka UDP le fasa. You see, wala kendina banko tardeta, because many people in their little knucklehead and in their mind, itolia mutako ni nataka banko defend when the country need them most. It means that they are given an advantage to UDP. And UDP is a structured party. UDP is a party that is built upon the basic foundation of respecting the rule of law of our country. UDP called them manke banko dingolti to be saying this ka violations of the government samba caught here and there. We need the civil society organizations and all facets of people's in lives to join us when we see things that are fundamentally wrong in our society. Huh? So these are the things. And all of these that I am saying here today should not have been me. It could have been you, for all you know. Because the truth shall make us free. Alin kaka lawyer dabo dundi kuo bekono. Just because you hate this man, because yink man wa karantale afahamuta ay mo jamal lal prosecute o bankoka ando mo dole bije ni prosecutor dunia bitala faye kidi ibuka la fila anything hanata re ko be banko be develop le ya be tile itol ka muta kominko o banko nyi ya be kenya moleti ye dula be letinya because they don't see the value of development and the coherence coming in still in society. It all katara minna walam nyentiko to be very vindictive. Walam kejo ka hadi mol bukang. Itol nyaka tarawol. So those people are living in the past. And for us, the members of the United Democratic Party, we feel like, oh, we do not want to look back. We would look back based on things Milialonko they belong to state have been bastardized in our country. We will look back to those things. Puruka Jubeko to repossess them to make sure law and order and sanity prevail in the country. Yeah? That is what we are saying. But are we the only citizens of the Gambia? No, we are not. So Lawyer Dabo is a Gambian. He's a father. He's a grandpa for some other people. And by virtue of all of that, Alamusoye Minke should not be punished on Lawyer Dabo. Adengoye Minke should not be punished on Lawyer Dabo. If you want to invoke ethics, we start that ethical consideration of values and principles by you yourself. It's a mari. Nko ethics, right? Ethically. Ete nila okorobe. Why do you not give part of your money to other people, me along there within your surroundings, to also have a better and good life in society? But it's a personal choice, right? Like I said, in this America, moman kodo soto nyimbanko ka mintambita Donald Trump. But the same Donald Trump, atele a tax wave sort of more beti, aka bankruptcy file anytime, left, right, and center, purukala kodo nyimente. Did he violate law? Probably not. It's a facility that is there for everybody. But ethically, probably, you may not want to do it because you have amassed so much wealth. Abelari Bulokono, you could have utilized your own personal money instead of that. But in this case, where the Gambian people, Gambian journalists, and the rhetorics that is going on within our public discourse are trying to mix apple and oranges, trying to make us believe that lawyer is responsible for snatching this land mi along kala muso ya soto wala dingo ya soto wuliya mantambiala wuliya ba konnante ya ba ijusol lebe fetending, you know, coming ko any good thing UDP e meomenke akakenyi modol balale coming ko jahannama demba isiso lel ka feteng. Muna na UDP e ferol mills landi. Ika wokuol ke nyami. Muna na alfa nambuka ke wanyama. Ni UDP e convention oke Spain. Wati do yake America. Wati do yake UK. Muna kende alfa na who stop you from doing those things? We are going to capitalize all the successes of the UDP. And then I would advise the members of the United Democratic Party, let them focus their eyes on the prize. And that prize is nothing other than to work towards the trajectory of 2026. Come Mr. Adama Barrow, and all reckless and clueless and destructive government keep on in power. That should be every United Democratic Party member la preoccupation oti nyimbankoka, because member in Gambia, by virtue of all circumstances, living in the Gambia, within our eyes, na lonne ko tonya is unsustainable. So if you believe in that, you need to work so hard, and we need to come out and debunk mostly nyolla kuma kalantam folu animfania ba fo, because you know what? They are not more Gambian than any one of us. Go kuomi man bete akununko amanyanka bete akunu ate bete hala bi sakosama o sininde. And these are things that we are all complicit without touching base and talk the truth to power. Mol milbe Adam Barrow bala, what type of human beings are they? Ibota banku sifa nyadi leto. Because as Gambians, nanana daji ko ka million long walam nyente ko. Nga nyo bunya nga nyo horma, bar ninto nya nata nga fete nyo kungokang. Kaireti nya nga ela. Ninteria kuyata ola. Atara ko ete mari, you do not believe in anything, and you are nothing. In as long as you don't want to admit the fact. Ko ete, this is your mistake. Therefore, you have a second opinion to listen to people who differ in opinion to that of yours. But anytime, ni moldi amota, eko manke banku den kendod. Anyon fania. Anyon wuli afo, anyon nakaro. Amantambi wai. Lawyer Dabo, mo wandi falete wai. Lawyer Dabo fana nyante ke respect le nyim banko kan. Lawyer ya nendiro mimfango beta. Ndol UDP nkolu nka kamfale wato dolu. Nako nyeko ali sabar. Alkane danko ni yen neng. You know? Molu milia lonko hani dorosi kendo fango. Eta sanno le faye puru ye juol fitano wale yaku. Alse hakedo. Milia lonko man kumaya in society. Wolel kafunte. Eka Lawyer Dabo denigrate ba nenna suta tele. Ka banem fang. Andi ya lonko lawyer la barindeng wala mamaringol nani wollota ni wolia bus o mari busa as a fenke. But we believe in law. Because najaleko, if you are in a public space, everyone and anybody would talk about you, and some ibe kujawol fole la mi alonko isonga fangonte. But just to lie and make survival to put food on their table. O wulia sabanya sembo warta baket. Kato not only ining alaba digalela, barikela dimbay al balundi haramola. So, Fenda, Kuzen, Dabo, Gambia dingolem. War ethical issue is up to Fenda Kajubeko whether nyemu Gambia government na land nati nyanta ka sendi or not. But Fenda doesn't break any law. Under no circumstance. There is no provision in the Gambia. Mimba tandilako. Fenda I also the nyaming. I luale violate. Right? As well as Alamuso. Those are all citizens of the Gambia. Loyal position and title and prestige wo manyanka use as a yardstick. Purka wolfanan na privilege ol busi buluwai. Banku jamale ka balu wo nyama. Banku jamale ka tano wo nyama. Just because ye keta na full tioti. Idingol manyanka wo sifa soto. Ethically manyanka soto. And ite alo ni wo ethical kuo na ite fango singo koto. You grab it. What type of people are we in the Gambia? Munana the former vice president Olma saying, even Batambidu la musoya sotole. Could Batambidu use an ethical consideration katande kominko? Oh, ntenga nyen ekanjo minna siata so therefore na muso manyanka soto. Huh? And all of those people is totally different from what the sitting head of state here, Minke. As a sitting head of state, Itemari, you should lead by example. For all we know, the last time I checked, Lawyer Dabo is not the sitting head of state. He looks very presidential though. He is our president. Because you know how the school prefect wala mam sembo van wartat. Wala darjatat. So nyine kanyulo sondomo ay juso feteng. Andong ni me hakiloto kamfa bambalo akakurangole di marila. Wala na Gambia ndaisan. Moja maka tarafaring ida true filting konkolem nakaronin nikuya aning konante ya ba. Oka moja mafa Gambia le. Karia sotole ntama soto. Instead of nga kende ya o kari nyeng puru nga bulala nemo kono nga fitina banyo rakang nga konante ya banyo rakang Whereas it could be the other way around. Nengala me dema, o fitina ba konante ya ba, at the end of the day, si yoka kolong wala nyama. Dolu niyo kuyata bake simply because they belong to a different political party, and nyim political party dolu wala ferolu ila katakuolu even though mantara mansakunda ko na nyawnya ye fewo fenke akake success story lati o kanyin dongol siso fetenne fa e korokoro aka kende dolu ni kamfa bata high blood pressure e ma book ngatanga denko singe 6 feet nge dondiji katuko hasidia bambalo konantea bambalo anen ala nyasi lambalia o ya kendi ala ko mimmu ite ko hani ite la kumuka feten ye fatak. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, alinga balu tonyala, alinga misrepresentation obola nente ensa ABCC luatinya. I believe that the law should take its right stand and toll on me, regardless of me. The law can have a mercy on me because if I am a first-time offender of the law. But these are not even offenses. These are opportunities, privileges, and some rights that are there for every Gambian. Musoye wo opportunity nyinta because he is a teacher. That's he fits within the scope of teacher will nyantaka empower in the Gambian. Police officer nyantaka empower. Make it nintiolu. Small businesses nyantaka empower in the Gambian. Because they are less privileged people. Milia lonko ila earning capacity anila salary kaminsota buka siya back. So, Lawyer Dabola Muso nim na keta teachati. I was sort of, what is they talking about that? We might as well ask Mr. Barrow, ala musolia sort of nyadile wala idula. We would be surprised to have a revealing story. Kaje kominko. In fact, nyulie kuke miya lonko masilanta. In fact, it is outside the scope of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. You see? If Lawyer Dabo dingo like Fenda, wo fane wo privileges, rights, and little benefits or millialonko, they are within the law. Puru, any citizen could go after and use it. Where is the violation in that? Oh, we want to shift all blame for all those first family molu, dingo, animba, wolie min soto nga foye kominko ha alto liye opportunity minje you went after those opportunities, therefore Lawyer Dabo is responsible for that. Is that a kangaroo justice? That is a military justice. Kamoluta ke vilify, kamoluta ke punish based on somebody's doing, and what Marila doing is not even illegal. So, alinga misrepresentation obula. Fellow Gambians and friends of the Gambia, this is the reason I came by today. Nkomfaiko, let me go and join the conversation to the Gambian people to put my mind cool milbekering, moluba misrepresentation, represent kanyaming, nananga diamalie, puralia fahamo nyama. Lawyer Dabo believes in the rule of law and the fundamental values of our country. You know? Nyemol milibeka diamo. Ne jube, I started by saying, Madi Jabate is also even very complicit. Berenga dimma for Ndei Jabate. Minketa Bakar Bajila Musoti, Padium Hunters. Al Nkam Benga Okuo Kalamutak. But Madi Jabate did not even come and tell us that to write Aman Saferke. And he did not even write Kafo Kominko Bakari Bajinala or Padium Kuo. Wodal, war is unethical. Therefore, Walnyantaka Okodo Sende. And Dunia Kodo Sende, let them produce a receipt to the Gambian people to make themselves clear. Madima Wofot. Mahdi went in coma. Mahdi went silent. Wo kuoketa tukutuk, yereng, yendem, yep. Aye diletek, amam femfoji. So wale akendi, nafiki ya nyanta kabon na bankokan. Let us judge people based on the realistic, fundamental issues Milia Lonko we believe that they have done. But we cannot sit at our comfort zone nga singa from fayeko just because I have the medium, I have the free Wi-Fi nga si nga kuma for na miral kensengo. We are judgmental. We are judgmental in that. And that goes, like I said, against the metrics of natural justice. As a lawyer or a judge, you cannot use that as a yardstick to punish me. No case. The case would be taken out because, like I said, I have made several other examples, even in evolving democracies. Nga Donald Trump la kuo sa Italian, mo man kodo sodo min si atati. Baraka tax wave kele. Mia Lonko, instead of paying tax, he refused to pay tax. But at the end of the day, it becomes no violation because I privilege or invoke I will use. Could he have used the other way around and consider the ethical consideration? Yes, probably yes. So it's a personal choice, Kajubeko, whether you want to go in for it or you could have used your own money instead of going for something free. Ngalon na koninga free thing fay Gambia Bankoka. Altol milfang beka for tenting altol lebe borila ali nyapi wolkang. Andungal be o nyapila o fengo minkang alta dila modol la mili alonko altol le fanam fisiata wolti damande. You see how convenient the truth is in the Gambia. Bi ninga na fulo nati nga fay silo kam. Ibe mo follow minjala mimbe nyapila o na fulo nyenka wala be kela fenti ba famfamote. Kawoda mande nyinta ka kafala jamal. Because wo fentio in the eyes of the law ateta jubela coming kwa ifengo sotole alafita oda mande unkela ala jamaa kanne just to have much more, right? But at the heat of the moment ateta jubela ko oh, ethical consideration obeje and values and teachings of our good governance manyanka nyenta fuari dole nyanta kana nyenta no mbuka wo jube at the heat of the moment, right? So alenga nafiki ya bambalo bulan na Bankoka wai. Alenga molu judge based on ikebaro ye minke. Bari nkana apples and oranges all mix nkombe o use laka onyim modolu tange bute ala. Lawyer Dabo, as well as his family, ye minke is not a violation of any law in the Gambia because there is no provision in the Gambia. Miya tandiko, you cannot use that opportunity ka work soto. Probably, ethically, would it be a little bit wishy-washy? Maybe so. But that discretion lies in the hand of the beholder. Miya lonka mari tata yo femonyin soto. Personal discretion ole. How many times did we see 35 million a jolonta barola la musola account okono tundum wonyama just like that. From nowhere I jolonna account okono wonyama. Nga donkili. The other people will come manyankafo wo kuoketa tukutuk yendem. Dro container natan na Bankoka. Miya alonko. Aben na funding ke ultinyala. Aben na banko sendi la koma. Nga diamu nga donkili. Hani bi hani sama. Eko banta keta. And there is no banta keta. Tukutuk. Yendem. Yereng. Akuo keta wanyam. How convenient. What type of person are we as Gambians? Gambia nene titano la nyato ning ayatara manna political differences or lande aside. Ngajeko. Nim mama kande fundita kuma for me alonko is to the greater good of the country. We should all rally behind Mama Kande nga support wo fananyi na puru akana ke kotenki. Bari, iko moe land soto. Aba sotola wato min, afama mantara mansakunda. Anda aba sotola wato min, atela finances ate damale se wo calculate no aya fo Gambia mole ko. Aya tarale ko mbe batarenne, wala te mambata nyine be caring. In my life, nobody knows mimbe keri mobile life kono. It's a fence to nyanya. There are moments in life me alonko ite marika kolea soto la finances olkon. So if you went after your rightful thing me alonko inyanta kake, which is within the law, there is no violation in that. Namera wate mbafo kan tichol. Tichol they have been enfranchised in our country, Milia Lonko. Inyanta ka joro min soto e masoto. Policeol nyanta ka joro min soto e masoto. You know, armyol nyanta ka joro min soto e masoto. So nyunle mufannate lafita, instead of civil servants only tolke la salary warandi, nyindongol fanana salary e wara. So that policeol je ibela doku okela within the law, e manyanka violation oke sakwese wandi babu te banta. It's a corruption of Fanambula. Ning ayatara mobile salary better. So among all this category of people ngamimvo, lo hadabola muso fanamu walti tichole mati. So should lo hadabola wealth, another position and title be a yardstick nga wo lo hadabola muso bali ala rightful privileges all. Alinga jubem fam fedro. If you were that, ning ayatra manke loya dawa itele wote ila musomo tichati fa manyan ka benefit nyenkol bari ndeysan nafikia nka fole so much so that when antol fango konande and you need right peoples like me and several others milia lonko kanyin nafikia bondal ye nyoto pura itili eko na ler right eko baro bugud lendem na ler. Bari o Mr. Adam Barrow, wala lendam ta mo beti nyimbankoka. Because there are so many corrupt practices surrounding his neck. Bantaketa, ale? We think drug fonka miralo ko wo container ma wo kata bankol to wo nyamale doro. But in Daysan, we have to speak the truth to one another even if we are enemies. Alinga woke Gambianol. Alinga hasidia bula Gambianol. Alinga fania fo bambalol bula Gambia. Gambia titano la nyato. Ninga atara. We do not cherish our democratic gains. And jealously safeguard na security miya lonka ben na Bangkoka. We cannot have better and meaningful development. Ning ayataran sita nkomfayeko mbe nyu hasidiala mbe konante ya fontendila nyokan. Kakuma bal fodorong. Nga minke o maminko fo maminke yene ya be lankan. Ndeysaan God so good ntedunde mbe siren nkalanke yata ala yem fasa mbe sirin wo nyama. Ntede ye meomel lankan nka mutala albarakan kom fayeko. God is the highest judge of all judges. Abe kiti hotelal. Loya dabo be wala nyama. Nyin nendir bambalo be. Nyum kuma kan kalantam bal be. Nyin kuma norim bal be. Anin banendirolu ku kolem balu bele faytakan. Parabe sirin tek abe daring. Ye kuol mimfal amanka sonti alabe sediaring ani molu beya je ko tonya amanyenge bari ye ku kolengo be kike ya laka ya fayaka atebe sirin tek abe ala mutakan abe ala batukan ako God is the highest judge of all judges. That is Lawyer Dabo for you. Lawyer Dabo e karao minke mona kende ite mante ye oke. Puru ye ke komen loya be nyami if you want a comparison and a competitive things in society, berimbeta kan karambongoto. Ete ya beke sunkutu ba mutolti. Ebe musol jena la left, right, and center. Ye dingol soton for a lafita kasi football team. You expect ko ndenga wo kuol mim dunia nidia ngo mim be fogo. Concentrate to develop myself either in any discipline of life. Yeah. Ale nang fearing ayen sembo warandinga na fulo nyin soto ete man la fike nyalo na fulo ka iko ifaye ko hani ete nyimmin soto ndanga nyimmin soto manyanka soto anyong hasidi amantambi wai anyong konante amantambi wai because God judge us based on fanal performance in life. You don't expect being better from grade 1 to grade 6. Needed until grade 6, mang down grade 6, moved to nganata for either secondary school or high school, but out on tata college, from college ngata university. It didn't need to learn all the society kono why? Because nafahamuro, amanke konfisiate tile alaya fisia ya ba ombemu hadamadembemu kilinati. But at the end of the day, nil lota. In terms of responsibility and in roles and duties in society, based on the track record and in nakatakuo mingake. You do not expect to be a graduate from a grade 6, minister, or to be a judge in the country. Can you imagine how selfish we are as a people in the Gambia, distorting the truth? Kul belari nyami mbuka afo moli wala nyam. Lawyer Darboe should be taken out of all of this land grabbing issue. A privilege is there for everyone. Ni dingo be mansakunda kono, wala dingo be je, inyantaka make available to everybody. In fact, not only everybody, right to information. More bele nyantaka nyilonko. There is such a privilege sitting right there. By virtue of Gambia la condition on you, it should have been a mass application because every Gambian is qualified to get that. They are all poor. Some of them are renting. Most of them, in fact, most of the Gambian civil servants are all renting. You know? So if they go apply that, you're telling us that go, well, Lawyer Darboe okay, anyong wulia sabo mang tambiwai. Lawyer dingo nala muso menke. Why are you bringing lawyer's name in that? Why vilifying lawyer about things me along kala dimbaya liye woleke? Tonya, lawyer dimbaya lo anate, they are a subset of each other. One is a larger set of the other. But at the end of the day, there is a serious distinction. Senator said it should not be any debate, in fact. It should not be a debate. It's a matter of choice. For a dingol bella fila ka was saying, wala denga amla muso manyanka sendi, but last time I checked the muso the teacherity. She is very much qualified. And lawyer dingo wofana mo Gambian citizen nati mim fana e dingol soto. So lawyer dingolu wolfana bella fila to be proud to say that mbama na korale na kenen dingole. Alenga wulia sabol bula wai. Alenga kuol senende niya torabe nyaming. Ethical issue wato dolo amanke violation od. Some dangerous ethical issues could be a violation, especially when it comes in contrast with the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia. But whereas people run their errands through the legal means and acquire the seal of the government attached to them, what is illegal in that? Unless you possess it through dubious means. We should all be talking about Mr. Barrow to return the land. And like I said, Mr. Barrow's failure to return that land, it will be repossessed back. Mr. Adama Barrow, return that land, or you keep losing all what you have spent in there. Yes. I diametrically concur with you, Mr. Pa Amadou Dramé. Exactly. Ni momi ala nyantaka nyininkala, wala mo the Minister of Lands at the time. Yata o nyininka. And we have heard what lawyer did is very commendable because ate afoko adingode we land sotole. Ayataraman Sakunda as well as Alamuso. Did Barrow did that? Barrow is the sitting president of the Republic of the Gambia. And just like I said, last time I checked, Atelemumman Sakunda Mia Lonko, he should lead by example at a because of his current position. You know? Ne mimma ofono, ikana uliata ya la loyaka wai. Ka foko ethically here and there. Ethical consideration, I can give many more examples, just like I gave one example to Ndei Jobate. Mari Jobate Dingo, Mareto Bakat Baj. That is one example. The other ethical consideration, Walam Nyentiko, Jibimbalo, the sitting National Assembly member, Mia Lonko, Anala Musufula Fosababe, Akata Wande Dingo, Dindimele, to solicit sex from them. Ethically, should he have recused himself from running as a National Assembly member? No. Barola Molu, nobody wants to talk about it because they know it is freaking damning to them. Sirifo Sonko. Maje Jangala video that a vile. At the time, I was very instrumental, Kajubeko. If Sirifo Sonko were to run against Yankuba Dabo, Ntolte campaign okela allow sex tape mbewolel play in a public address system. Ba fola musoli ko mbe kono mandilal. Mba fulan jannale mba saban jannale. You know? Kota hog nyol be kumala. You know, these are decency. There is more morality issue, an ethical issue, an indecent issues in Barrow government near Jubela minister la hierarchy. Molu mili alonko la sex tape ol be bota. Ibota mundo. Barrow la cabinet minister, either advisor lemu, dolba folako, akata ye karifa, ye nyinkeala. Those are ethical issues. But ye all invoke. This is why the Barrow government is very self-centered and very selfish. In the sense ko, ninkuo kuye tol ma. They want to invoke the constitution or ethical issues, kajube puraye fasa. But ning ethical issue or morality question bail aside, they just brush it under the carpet. What type of country are we living in? A country of deception? Even cows and duck have better organization in order to walk in a straight line than most people in the Gambia. Katum burol. Niye londi, eko ye tama kaberi nyendula. Ete buro jela to violate, to cross in front of another buro. But the Gambians become very indisciplined in terms of self-importance. And in kafoko, ihalonte mujamaleti. On that note, Gambians, friends of the Gambia, let us take Lawyer Dabo out of all of this debacle. Lawyer dingo mo Gambia dingolete. Nyantol bejele anin sarto dolu. Milia lonko they are there for people and citizens of this country. Nen Lawyer Dabo la dingo yewota at a time when lawyer is not even in the government or so. Now you are telling us go ethically lawyer nyantaka saying la atara lawyer mbulo fango mama. You should have said lawyer dingo nyantaka saying dile. But lawyer dingo ba saying dile nyadile when that same lawyer dingo mole odi ala mi alonko land minister at a time mi alonko lawyer fango mantaraje. Anafiki asembo wata, misrepresentation asembo wata, a konnante asembo wata, ngananga wulu buke ya fo Gambia dingole ayatara mantara lari wonyam. Muna akande birin ndey jobate la kuo fundita madi jobate mafo, ethically, ndey jobate, E mun dingoti nya bari ye samba nyin state mission o minna padia mo nyanta ka say indile here and he did not say it. Because badi ya forta bakele. Aye dele tuku yereng. Mo mala saferje. Sakoren son sa boy. Ka diamu dulalto. Ko bakari baji la nying. O bakari baji la o padium hunting kuo nying. Madi went in exile. No comment. No word. You know? No comment. Aning safermank. So nite o badi ya forndi. Lo ya dawa fane badi ngol lel soto bang Gambia bankoka. Ama minken kana o diala way. Para dingol nala musul fana mu Gambia dingol tibawa ani wole dingol lel soto. A dingo fana yeddin dol lel soto. Wo dingolu wol fana mbe kawa kuyala lebe ye yaka e famala ka foko mfama mbamade afane dula soto. So bullshit ethical issue milia lonko. Like I said, if it affects the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, yes, then we go after it. But in this case, they are totally unrelated. Totally. The person who needs to be vilified for that is the person who gave them the land. Because that person is a senior member of the government of the Gambia. If he does not have the audacity to question, okay, bawe dong lawyer dawa dingolti, imanyanka yen soto. Is that a yardstick to mezo ko lawyer dawa dingol ol manyanka feng apply Gambia Bankoka? O imanyanka soto? You want to abrogate their rights and liberties in a country just because of ikoifa hanatare fa maye billion ole soto. It is up to them to decide whether I have this or not. Personal discretion. But remember caring Gambia Banko kan te masilanta la bakel. And it is derailing our development. Because politics nga dundi kuo bekono, fembukata nyato a bebe seikan komale. Gambia dingolo, alinga tonya fasa. Gambia dingolo, alinga ke moluti miya lonko, mbembalula tonyala. Nkana mo tonye, nga fokari ko itele nyinke atare mamma, ibulu mamma isi mamma wai. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, yala nenkuol keta. History is there to judge all of us. Madi, like I said, I respect him so much. So much. Because kujama in our political discourse, he come out and talk. Ka diamu ilale, aka constitutional invoke, aka diamu kuola, ka make so ko things need to be in order. But bring kuol nata te fanga de mala kuola. Aman diamu? That's an injustice. Right there. Ndei Jobate was married to, is still married to Bakat Baji. So ala kuo, whether you talk about the nanata immorality issue or ethical issue, komi ka diamu kuol mimbela, na fanga mainyanta ka diamala, but wo kuo nyinga man diamola. But you want to talk about anything and everything in society. Yes, still, I love Madi Jobate. I respect him. But I think he's missing the mark in this. Because our titling of the story, Adama Barrow, and then Lawyer Dabo Nyantaka land sayindile. That's wrong. It should have been Lawyer Dabo la Muso, and then Lawyer Dabo la Dingo, warning Adama Barrow and so many other lists I mail for will Nyantaka land in sayindile. Not Lawyer Dabo per se. That would have been an accurate title or description of Kuol Ketanyami. But under the law alone, lawyer has no undue interference in the acquisition of the allocation of those land to Alamuso or Adingo. And besides, like I said, Alamuso memo Tichot. Tichot, they qualify. Even Hanatarantenga billion ole soto. Hanataranga korda kemele soto. That should not be counted ka for coming. Oh, ndala okorake mo should be given to na muso. Nga moment din na musola. It is from the scope of goodwill gesture. Wo nyanta kakele. But in na muso na rights, liberties, and other responsibilities. Oh manyanka keniko ha because lawyer mufanka malati ala muso manyanka nyinsoto. You see the deception in here, Gambians? Altol milbe juberola. Alingam fanta kuola nakaritigi. Equally nganye mimbefu. Lawyer dingo, regardless of I fengo soto nyaonya. Just like I said previously, Katara America Jang, that doesn't make you to be wealthy. Katara America Jang doesn't make you to own your own house here. Katara America Jang doesn't make you to lose your rights, privileges, and responsibilities in the Gambia. And besides, all those rights and responsibilities and privileges are there for everyone. Lawyer Darboe has nothing in this case. This is about Adingo, Alamuso, and the person, the land minister, Mia Dia. Something drama, Yankuba drama. You know? So, alinga fania fobula na Bangkokang, alinga cool seneandi na Bangkokang. Let us not be on our medium, walatenkan na platform all use to go and write a very bad title. Kafo moleko, okay, whereas some report or some stories near read, ila title o ikake nyamin, they make it very sensational, pur mole kidi, yete ya read. But near la title on Njube, near read for ya bang, the title does not match with what has been explained in the content of those stories. Can't you do your job better, journalist? We value and respect the journalists in the country because Itolo, they hold the government and anybody accountable in the country. But for crying out loud, nalbe story or stories, safela, let you make soko the title match with what is in the content of that story. Because ni watan, akake misrepresentation or just like what has been done to Lawyer Darboe just in this case. Anyway, Gambians, friends of the Gambia, I stand by every word that I said here. And if I would live longer, for 100 years, I would have repeated everything just like this or more like this. Because you know what? The truth shall make us free in our country. Without telling the truth to power, Gambia will metamorphose into a bottomless sinkhole. Katuko tonya fo balia ay na banko tarrendi kaje ko molu milman do ko no ngeke palaso hane bi hane saman ko me bondigi because of political expediency. On that note, friends of the Gambia and fellow Gambians, Allah baraka bake and sa ABCs, United States of America. I salute you.